The Joy Luck Club by Amy Tan. Summary: The Joy Luck Club is a novel by Amy Tan, published in 1989, which follows the interconnected lives of four Chinese-American immigrant families in San Francisco. The story centers on the complex relationships between Chinese mothers and their American-born daughters, exploring themes of cultural identity, generational conflict, family, and the immigrant experience. Structured as a series of interconnected stories, the novel captures the unique perspectives of both mothers and daughters, who struggle to understand one another while navigating the pressures of tradition and assimilation. Plot summary. 1. The formation of the Joy Luck Club. The novel begins with Jingmei Junwu recalling the history of the Joy Luck Club, a social gathering started by her mother, Su Yuanwu, along with three other Chinese immigrant women, and Mei Shu, Lindo Zhuang, and Yingying St. Clair. The club was formed as a means of finding joy and hope in their new lives in America, gathering over mahjong, food, and conversation. Following her mother's death, June is invited by the club members to take her mother's place, learning that she has two half-sisters in China and must fulfill her mother's last wish by meeting them. 2. Stories of the mothers, struggles, sacrifices, and hopes. Each mother's story is shared in flashbacks, revealing the hardships they endured in China, their resilience, and their sacrifices for their daughters. Su Yuanwu fled China during the Japanese invasion, leaving behind her twin daughters in hopes they would be found. This loss haunted her, and she dedicated her life to providing a better future for June. And Mei Shu endured family betrayal and the suicide of her own mother, who suffered in silence as the concubine of a wealthy man. And Mei instilled strength and resilience in her daughter, but her American life has made communication between them difficult. Lindo Zhuang was forced into an arranged marriage at a young age, but through cleverness and resolve, she escaped to build a new life. She fears her daughter Waverly does not appreciate her sacrifices and struggles to instill Chinese values in her. Yingying St. Clair had a traumatic past, including a failed marriage that left her emotionally scarred. She believes her daughter, Lena, lacks self-confidence and determination, and she worries that her quiet acceptance of life's challenges has negatively influenced Lena. 3. Stories of the daughters, conflict and assimilation. The daughters' narratives reveal their own struggles with identity, cultural expectations, and the pressures of living between two worlds. Jingmei, June, Wu feels disconnected from her Chinese heritage and struggles with her mother's high expectations. Her mother's death compels her to reconnect with her roots and understand her mother's sacrifices. Waverly Zhuang, Lindo's daughter, is a talented chess player whose rebellious attitude clashes with her mother's high expectations. Waverly strives for independence and resents her mother's influence, especially as it impacts her career and relationships. Rose Shu Jordan, and May's daughter, suffers from a lack of self-confidence and is in the midst of a failing marriage. Her mother encourages her to assert herself and find her own strength, despite her fear of disappointing her husband and family. Lena St. Clair, Yingying's daughter, grapples with self-doubt and a troubled marriage to a man who controls their finances. Yingying encourages Lena to be more assertive and to stop accepting less than she deserves. 4. Cultural identity and generational tensions. The daughters, raised in America, struggle to relate to their mother's traditional values and experiences from China. Each daughter is shaped by her mother's influence yet seeks her own identity, leading to conflicts over independence, career, marriage, and self-worth. The mothers, in turn, are frustrated by their daughters' seeming lack of appreciation for their sacrifices, but they ultimately want their daughters to have choices and freedoms they themselves were denied. 5. Reconciliation and understanding. As the daughters mature, they begin to appreciate their mother's wisdom and strength, realizing that their mother's values and experiences have deeply influenced their lives. The novel reaches an emotional resolution when June travels to China to meet her half-sisters, fulfilling her mother's wish and bringing the family history full circle. This journey symbolizes the reconnection with her heritage, honoring her mother's legacy and the resilience of the generations before her. Key themes. 1. Cultural identity and assimilation. The novel explores the struggles of maintaining cultural identity in a new land. The mothers seek to pass down their Chinese heritage, while the daughters often feel torn between honoring these traditions and assimilating into American culture. The novel emphasizes the importance of understanding and embracing one's heritage. 2. Mother-daughter relationships. The complex relationships between mothers and daughters are central to the novel, showcasing the difficulties of understanding each other across generational and cultural divides. Each pair struggles with unspoken expectations, love, and the desire for connection, ultimately finding reconciliation through mutual respect and understanding. 3. Sacrifice and resilience. The mothers' lives are marked by resilience and sacrifice, and their stories underscore the strength they possess in the face of hardship. Their sacrifices are intended to create better lives for their daughters, even though these efforts are not always recognized or understood. 4. The power of storytelling. The narrative structure, interwoven with stories from each character's perspective, emphasizes the importance of storytelling in preserving family history and legacy. Through stories, each character gains insight into her past, finds healing, and learns the value of family bonds. Conclusion. The Joy Club by Amy Tan is a moving exploration of family, identity, and the ties that bind generations. Through the voices of Chinese immigrant mothers and their American-born daughters, Tan reveals the challenges of cultural conflict and the resilience required to bridge differences. Ultimately, the novel celebrates the power of heritage, storytelling, and the enduring strength of family, portraying a journey toward understanding, forgiveness, and unity.